Hello everyone, Bumin here. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to import data from several sources into Excel. To do that, the first thing we do is we go to data, and once we get to data, we see several sources where we can get our data from. For instance, here we have get external data. If you click on this drop down arrow here, you see sources where you can get data from access, from web, from test, from other sources, from existing connections. So getting from existing connection, you import data from common sources. If you click on this drop down arrow in from other sources, as you click on it, you see several sources where you can get data from SQL Server, from analysis services, from Windows, Azure Marketplace, data feed, XLM, data import, data connection wizard, Microsoft Query. So these are some of the sources where you can get um, external data from. So I'll be showing you how you can do, get data from existing connections. But before we do that, we need to first of all create a connection. So let's come to connections here. Now, when you put your cursor here, it says display all data connections for the workbook. And data connections are links to data outside of this workbook, which can be updated if the source data changes. So it's just a data that you have outside this workbook, and change, once you update your data from the source data, it also gets updated here after you have imported it. So let's see how we can do that. So let's click on connections, and here I have a blank connection. There's no connection yet. So the first thing I will do is I will add a connection. So click on add. So this so I have a connection created before initially, but I will show you how we can create another connection. So we have connections files on the network, connection files on this computer. So you can get from a network server, or we can also get when we have a data set on this computer. So I'll be showing you how you can get from files that you already have on your computer. So I will click on all connections here, and then says connection files on this computer. Then I click on browse for more to get more connection file. So once I click on browse for more, it takes me to my local disk drive, and then I search for the data and then import it. So let me just look for where I have my data. I think I have it on the desktop here. Okay, so I have a data here on the desktop, business retail sales. So once I click on business retail sales and then I click on open, okay, so it brought me to this text wizard where I have to show the characteristics of the data set. Now it says choose the file type that best describes your data. You have delimited and then freeze width and other stuff. So I will um, click on delimited, and then I'll check on my data as headers, because my data has headers. So I'll check this box here. Then the next thing is click on next. You would notice that the data set is separated by a comma. So I'll uncheck this and then click comma. Okay. And next thing I click on next. And then after I've done that, I'll select the data format. We have general text date. You click on advanced, you see other formats. But here, let's just click on general. So then I'll click on finish. So I already created my connection now. I just click on close. So the connection has been created. So to import it on this workbook, I'll go back to get external data, click on existing connections. Then now you will see the connection here, connections in this workbook. So if I click on this and then I click on open. Now once I click on open, it brought out this dialog box where I have import data. Now it says select how you want to view this data. By default is selected as table. You can also select as pivot table, as pivot chart, and then or here let's import it as table. So where do you want to put the data? Existing worksheet. If you want a new worksheet, you click on new worksheet. It will open a new worksheet for you. But I prefer to go with existing worksheet and then specify the cell where you want the data to be, which is cell A1. Then add this data to data model. You can also add this to data model if you have a data model or if you are creating a data model. I will show you how to do that later in subsequent videos. So now all this is set and then I click OK. So you will see my data has been imported into my worksheet. And one beautiful thing about connection is that once I update it at the source file, it will also get updated here. Another way of importing data is to get your data from a web source. So from a web source. To do that, let's go to a new worksheet, okay, and get external data. So let's click from web source now. Now once you click from web source, it brings out this web query, and then the next thing is you get the URL of the data where you have it, and then copy it here and then import it. So let me just go back to my browser. Okay, now this I already have this data set for my GitHub. Let me show you how you. So if you have a GitHub account and import data set from. So this is my GitHub. I already have this data set now. So to do that, to import this data set, I'll click on raw here. So once I click on raw, so I have the data set here. Now what I will do is to copy this URL address and then go back to my Excel worksheet and paste it there. So once I click on this URL, I just press Ctrl copy, or I click and copy. So once I copied it, go back to my Excel sheet and then paste the URL here. So once I paste the URL here, paste it here, then I click on go. So it searched through and then we have the data. So you must be connected to the internet to do this actually, because you are getting it from the web. So I have the data set here now. Okay, so the next thing is just to click on import. Once I click on import, bring out this dialog box. Then I'll say, where do you want to import? Where do you want to put the data? Then this existing worksheet, new worksheet, you select which you want, or I want this existing worksheet, and then the next thing is to click OK. Once I click OK, then you will see the data set imported. Now you will notice that this data set is messed up I only have two fields here, the date and value. So I can separate this. I've showed you this in previous video how you can separate, format your data, separate it and make it look nice. So let me just quickly do that. Is we go to, so come to data here and then text to column. So once you click on text to column, you select, choose the file type that best describe your data, delimited, because you notice that it's separated by a comma. Then the next thing is you click next. So what is the delimiter? Comma. So uncheck tab and click on comma. Okay. Make sure the whole data set is selected. Let me click on cancel and then select everything. Okay, so everything is selected now. Then let me go back again, text to column, choose the file type that describe your data, which is delimited. Click on next. The next thing is choose the delimiter, which is comma. Then click on next. Then the data format, general, text. So let me just go with general, and then the destination from A1 is okay like that. And then I click on finish. So you will notice the data set has been formatted nicely. So this is how you import data set from into Excel. Other ways to do that is when you come to new query here, you see several places where you can also get data sets, say from file, if you have it from a workbook, from a CSV file, from an XML file, a text file, from a folder, and also from database. You have SQL Server, Microsoft Access Database, Oracle Database, IBM DB2 Database, MySQL Database. So you can import data from all these sources, from Azure to Azure Database Marketplace and the likes, from other sources, just like we have it from web, also from SharePoint, ODBC, from Facebook. So these are ways you can import data into Excel, combine queries too. So these are some of the ways you can import data into Excel. You can exploit some of these ways. They are simple and they are very easy to use. So I will end this video now. Thank you very much for watching this video.